Good morning and welcome to Onward in Love and Caregiving. I'm Greg Johnson. I'm the president and CEO of GJP International, which is Greg Johnson Partnerships International. And I'm delighted to welcome you on this first broadcast of November. And November is a very, very special month. This is National Family Caregiver Month, and I'm delighted to be celebrating and sharing it with you. During this month, we're going to talk about various ways of celebrating, and the best one is, I think, to say the magic two words that family caregivers rarely, if ever, hear. And so may I say them to you. It's the way that I begin every speech, wherever in the world I may be privileged to speak. And that is to say, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are the backbone of the world's healthcare systems. And we've certainly seen a great deal of that this year in many of the projects that we as Greg Johnson Partnerships have been privileged to be involved in. I want to remind us just of a couple of things. One of them is, and it's a very important one, as you go through this month, keep naming family caregiving. Over the many, many years that I have been involved in this work, I have found it so important to give it a name, because too often people think, oh, this is something I'm supposed to do. Oh, I'm stuck with it. Whatever relationship there might to be. But when we name it and say to someone, thank you for being such a wonderful family caregiver. Thank you for taking on this family caregiving responsibility, something I know you didn't plan for. I'm so impressed with what you're doing. How can I help? And we'll talk about that. But the important part is to name it, to give it a name. It's not just something, oh, I'm stuck with. No, it is something from which we're going to go through. And as I always say, it's my prayer that each and every one of us grows through it. And I know for me, in each and every family caregiving situation in which I have been involved personally and certainly professionally, I constantly grow through because I learn new things about the world of family caregiving. But I also learn new things about me, about how I react, how I'm able to be given the grace and the strength to go through with something that's very, very painful and difficult. And so it's extremely important to keep that in mind. Also, I urge you, and perhaps just to randomly think about it during this month of National Family Caregiving Month, all the faces of family caregiving. It's not just caring for old people like me, but it is seniors caring for children. Intergenerational kinship is its formal name. It's also seniors caring for seniors, but it goes all the way to that wonderful movie that is such a great documentary, The Angola Project, where murderers in prison are caring for other murderers because no one else is allowed in. And these are people with life sentences, and they have life issues. This was something that has never been discussed that much, but it is such a huge and vast, including, of course, long distance caregiving, the LGBT world, and its special issues in family caregiving, and it goes on and on. So spend some time noting the many faces of family caregiving. And this year has been particularly a positive year here in America. At the end of 2022, the national roadmap for family caregiving was presented by the Division of HHS, Health and Human Services, in Washington, the Administration for Community Living, ACL, the Administration for Community Living. And if you go on those websites, you can read this wonderful prescriptive, this wonderful empowering roadmap that has been done and was presented to America by our dear friend Greg Link. And so I can't say enough about that. And then in the new year of 2023, we had that incredible, and we thank AARP Foundation and AARP itself for releasing the report, Valuing the Invaluable. And in that report, we were informed that in 2021, the value of the services given here in America by family caregivers to loved ones and friends equaled 600 billion US dollars, if indeed it had been paid for. That's the monetization of all of that incredible, incredible work. So that brought enormous attention to family caregiving, quite obviously. And with it came the reception at the White House, hosted by the President and Mrs. Biden, Dr. Biden. And at that, 350 new executive orders were signed. Now, many, many things have followed, and many more will continue. Family caregiving, no more the silent patients. No, there is knowledge, there is understanding, and there is more and more wonderful research being done. And certainly we give a great shout out to the National Alliance of Caregiving, Jason Resendez and his incredible team, who continue to lead the way. We at Greg Johnson Partnerships have always been people who spend less focus on the research and the data, but we go in, as it were, hands-on. And as many of you are aware, I've just returned from Indonesia, where I had the great privilege of taking that which I've been blessed to learn in my many, many years, 25 plus, in family caregiving in that ministry here in America, and combining it with 35 years of work in tourism, particularly in the ASEAN countries, and in particular in Indonesia, and taking the knowledge of the country and its structure and its potential and marrying it with the caregiving implications of caring for the seniors. It's particular that at which we are focusing now. It will be expanded, but it's begun with, of course, the work with the seniors, because that is a huge issue all over the world. And out of it came the Sahaja Foundation. And many of you have heard me talk about it. And of course, I will continue to talk about it because I'm very proud of the 5 founders. There's an administrator and then 4 medical doctors, each with a PhD in addition to their medical work. They are incredible. And they are just full of life and full of excitement. And every morning I enjoy waking up and finding out what the Team Sahaja, is going to be telling me next, because I'm so, so proud of them. Wonderful board, an Indonesian advisory board, and Donnie and I are handling and privileged to handle the international advisory board based here in New York through GJPI. So there are lots of exciting things going on. And I know in your lives, because so many of the projects, so many of the gifts in caregiving have come from you, actual family caregivers, who said, you know, this was missing in my experience. And so you took advantage and said, but this is how I resolve that. And you have formed a foundation. You have formed a company that is offering that help to others. It is caregivers helping caregivers, people helping people. It's golden rule living and being willing to step up and share. This is an exciting time. November is also Thanksgiving. And I will never stop being thankful for family caregivers, for each and every one of you. Our motto is always onward in love and caregiving. And we remember that before I care for you, I've got to care for myself. And that is extremely important. But as I leave you today, I want you to know, as we have said all along, in the world of family caregiving, you are not alone. God bless. Namaste. And it is so. I look forward to seeing you very soon. God bless and happy National Family Caregiver Month. Let's celebrate.